With rants and raves, you'll be okay. And today is your lucky day. It is rants and raves with Gary K.
Hey everyone, this is Gary K, and welcome back to another edition of my video rants and raves. And I'm going to kind of, for many of you, introduce you to a brand new company that I think that Sean would agree kind of needs some introduction. Maybe you would kind of consider yourself one of the best kept secrets in the industry. Sean Robinson is a vice president of product at a company called Xilica, which is spelled Xilica, which is their URL as well. So you go to xilica.com, xilica.com. Sean, what the heck is a Xilica?
Great question. So yeah, we're not a semiconductor manufacturer. So yeah, Xilica, we're based in Toronto, Canada, and we've been doing digital signal processors for over 20 years now. That's how the company started. And primarily focused on higher education, houses of worship, hospitality. And the reason many people have not probably heard of us, there's some that in the US, but the US has typically been a smaller market for us. So we're much better known in Europe, in Asia. Actually, India is a big market for us, Australia. So, and we just recently put a big focus on the US market this year. So yeah, as I go out and meet more people in the US, they're like, I've never heard of you guys. Are y'all new? I was like, no, we've been doing this stuff for 20 years.
Yeah, and actually you're distributed by Xertus Almo, which makes it easy for people to get access to it. I'm going to mention a couple of products here because I have my personal favorites, but I think you have an interesting range of products. And from our industry, I think probably one of the products that would be a good low-hanging fruit product for you is the Celero. And you just came out with a new version. Maybe I'm not pronouncing that right, but Celero XR or QR1. That product is neat because it's very small, it can be mounted underneath a table. And tell them what it does.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and it's actually, that one's actually not new. We refreshed it just about a few years ago, but the platform's been out for a little while, so it's nice and robust. But yeah, what's really different about it, it's literally the smallest DSP on the market. So even if you look at small form
it's a
factor,
standalone DSP. Yeah.
Standalone DSP, open architecture and modular, and so it's literally 50% smaller than your traditional small form factor DSPs that are on the market. So it's really easy to slide behind a display or underneath a table, and it's PoE powered. So it makes it really easy to connect up. And what's also neat about it is its modularity. So it's got these 8 slots in the back, and it allows you to optimize cost, right? We're not charging for hardware that you don't need. So if you need one analog input, great, throw it in there. If you need another one, throw it in there. USB, put it in, right? So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cost effective when you want to do, a medium to large size room and you don't really know where to put the processor. Yeah, so it's a pretty cool product. And it definitely is our most popular product. It actually has the same processing brain as the big units. It's just in a very small form factor for those smaller applications.
Well, let's talk about one of the bigger units, and that's Sonia. I think is how you pronounce it, Sonia, which is an audio over IP solution. Is it natively Dante, or how does that work compared to the other audio over IP solutions that are out there?
Yeah, so Sonia, I think we just brought that to market last year. Again, been doing DSPs for 20 years, and then over the last 2 years, started rounding out the portfolio, and we started looking at what other things that we want to deploy in a medium to large size space, and we do everything now but the microphone, right? And so we have some relationships on the microphone side, but Sonia was really our reinforced audio solution for larger spaces where we want to distribute sound out more equitably across a larger space instead of, like a sound bar at the front of the room. Works great for smaller spaces. Larger spaces, we go to the ceiling, and we actually looked initially at creating PoE speakers, but when you add up the cost, you put all the electronics in each speaker, it adds up, to $500 a speaker. Now we're $2,000 a room for 4 speakers. So what we did was we consolidated all the electronics into the Sonia amp. And so it's basically a PoE plus and actually PoE plus plus as well amplifier that mounts on the back of one of the speakers. And that's where all your Dante is and all your amplifier chips and all that kind of stuff. So now you have one of those per room, and it just spiders out to all the speakers. And so what's really interesting is we put a mic port in there as well, because we realize you're also going to typically have a ceiling microphone, whether it's a Shure or Sennheiser ceiling mic. So there's a port in there that bridges that microphone onto the network, and it also provides PoE to it. That allows you to get one cable drop to the room instead of what would be 5 cable drops for individual PoE speakers and a microphone. So it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat.
So I knew you had the partnership with Sennheiser, but I did not know that you had partnership with Shure. You mentioned Shure as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're a very open ecosystem company, right? So we use standard Dante AES67. So we work with anybody. If you want to use our Sonya system with your DSP, you're more than welcome to do that. Same thing on the microphones. We do have a deeper relationship with Sennheiser because there's not a lot of product overlap with them. So we fill out the room solution very nicely around their microphone. But we still work with all the other ones, whether it be Shure or Adesia or any of the other microphones, because we're just using Dante, and then we can actually trigger their mute LEDs on and off as well with control from our platform. So you can synchronize that with Microsoft Teams when you're muting there as well. So yeah, we tend, with all the different markets and regions we sell into the world, we tend to be pretty agnostic. But we do actually, with Xertis Almo today, sell bundles with the Sennheiser microphone to offer a full room solution. And that's done at the distributor level globally.
Yeah, and I saw that actually at the E4 experience last week. So if you're doing UC applications and you need an audio adapter that solves problems, there's a good chance Xilica has it. So check them out at xilica.com. And you learn a lot about them. Sean, congratulations on your expansion in the U.S. and North America, I should say. And I look forward to seeing more from you and more products from y'all in the future. So thank you very much for joining me on this Rants and Raves to kind of give you some exposure for what you're doing.
Yeah, thanks, Gary. Glad to be here.
And you can see all of our Rants and Raves video casts at ravepubs.com. Thanks for watching.
rAVe Radio with rAVe.